Welcome back to your DreamHack Masters Grand Final. We kicked things off on Dust 2, and I have to say it was an absolute bloodbath in 16-1 in favor of the quote-unquote underdogs against the world's best team. That's insane to think. And we move on to Train now, which is their pick and where they've looked like one of the most convincing CT sides I've seen this year.
Absolutely agree with you. MSL having Device in his back pocket, no problems whatsoever. And Train, of course, another map where AWPers can prevail. So I'm very curious to see if Device can bounce back after that atrocious Dust 2.
Really didn't go in his favor, and he is going to be talked about the most. It wasn't exactly the worst performance from him, but he just actually was getting bested by the in-game leader of North, someone who was considered before this tournament just to be there for that reason. He was the only real viable leader for them, didn't bring much in the fragging department, but how has he changed his game around this significantly? I couldn't tell you. Whatever diet or regime he is on in the player break, I think we should all be subscribing to it. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, map number 2 is about to begin. Let's make some noise. Astralis are going to need you at this one as they look down the barrel of a 2-0 against North. The knife has been completed, and I have some bad news for Astralis fans. It's North going to be starting on the CT side here on their favorite map, and where they've shown to be the most innovative on this particular map we've seen so far. Either way, let's get into it. Have a look at the buys. Astralis with 2 smokes, 3 flashbangs, a P250 for Zipex. And as we usually say, most teams do favor that inside bomb side just because you're guaranteed to get that plant. Nico on the other side of the equation has got the defuse gear.
Desperate for some rounds too after a very disappointing Dust 2. So maybe the all-out rush onto B is a good way to get themselves back into this, get some confidence on themselves. Just watching the backside, here come the smokes. Gonna blot out the B side, all the vision taken away. And with them all clumped up here, it is going to be the B hit. They're not going to be able to wrap around. Kirby in the meanwhile though is on the flank. Valda on the site waiting for something, waiting for a pixel to execute off. May not be required because Nico's came in for 2 and Valda's going to keep them at bay. The bomb is going to get planted, but this should be an easy retake for the terrorists. Getting destroyed, and there's no Molotov for Zipex either. His days are numbered, he's got 1, but only 2 health. Surely this is not possible. Even for the Clutch King, even for the Clutch Meister, this was a bridge too far.
They went for the inside play, and like we suggested, the reason behind that is you are guaranteed a plant, but North seems to be guaranteed headshots every single round, Vince. This was Nico getting it done. He used to play inside for Heroic, and I used to say I thought he was one of the best players at that particular position. You can see why. Excellent stuff by him. Gets it done, and the bomb does get planted. I mean, it's AKs in the third, so Astralis at least left with something going forward. This should be the full eco here. I'm expecting to see rifles from North right now. Indeed, they have 3 of them and 2 SMGs. That's about spot on. Get a good mixture of long-range firepower and some utility to deny the bomb here. Now, we discussed yesterday that the main objective here in these rounds of the CTs is to make sure that bomb doesn't go down. Ideally, you want to have someone close range inside to deny that prospect and make sure they can't actually sneak it down. If a scout at the back of the side, for example, chances are they will plant. For now, though, Astralis, no nades, no upgraded pistols, and they're sending 3 players towards inside right now, but MSL ready to greet them with open arms. Zipex somehow takes about 90 damage there. And at this point, we discussed this yesterday as well, it's all about just bleeding out whatever utility the CTs have. It might not seem like a significant reduction in finances, but every dollar certainly counts. You can see Dupree not looking too headstrong right now in the little picture. We'll see what they can do. 1 round picked up in the first map. I'm not used to saying that about Astralis.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it? 17-1 overall in this best of 3, and it could get a lot worse. There's North just sitting in position, waiting 35 seconds. It's going to be a bloodbath if Kirby can get this M4 spray on lock. He's had some big moments over the duration of this tournament. Does give away his hand somewhat. Shaky aim is going to get him 2 kills. Not quite a third as Nico will take that away. Dupree at least will bag himself 1, which considering they only had Glocks, is honestly not too bad, but in terms of a bomb plant, completely denied.
Well, they're going to get the AKs out here. This is where the game starts to warm up. North will be aware of that prospect, and they'll recover the fallen rifle there. And the AKs come out in full force. They will indeed have smokes and flashbangs, not necessarily Molotovs to go with them, but Astralis may be looking to set the pace here. They are a team that likes to go outside aggressively if they get the spawns for it. For now, though, bomb heading towards Ivy on the back of Glaive. May just Will be actually there solo now as Glaves fall back. Device, here we go, looking to open things up from Popdog. The smokes are deployed. AZ hasn't got the ideal weapon to challenge those AKs. We'll see what he can do here.
And he knows it. That's why he's transitioning to a more forward position to try and take the fight to Astralis. Again, it's all about being unpredictable. We saw that Astralis struggle with that on Dust 2. Device, though, straight out through Popdog. Gonna get that Molotov extinguished, not to take as much damage. Putting him in the fight a little while longer. MSL, flashbang, Mask, gonna be pushing in with it. Not gonna get the kill, but severe damage has been inflicted, and the flames on Valda's Molotov will finish off Device. So a 3-for-3 stalemate as Valda looks to try and turn up the heat, but Zipex able to stand his ground.
Well read there. Zipex waiting for the challenge, and now a 2 versus 2 begins. The bomb makes its way towards inside. It looks like that will be planted. Nice Molotov towards the connector to buy them a little bit more time. Zipex to watch the Popdog area. The Glaive is so low. He's got to fight single-handedly. Somehow sneaks up the lower ramp and didn't take a bullet there. What's in store with the utility? We've got one incendiary that could be used towards the upper ramp, and they go for the defuse here, and a flashbang as well. Zipex going for the long con towards the connector.
And they need this. There's no Molotov once again in the hands of Glaive, so he can't afford to rest on his laurels. It's all about that flank, but they're just going to stick the defuse. Even if Kirby dies, it should be enough time for Nico.
Oh, he got it!
He just got there in time!
Oh my God, Astralis can't get anything going, Vince. That was the one. Zipex is the perfect flank, but the millisecond defuse came in. North 3, Astralis 0. They'll have to keep buying, but they can't catch a break right now. A fast-paced round to begin with. They got equal exchanges, then a 2-on-2, the bomb down, technically the advantage. Zipex plays it perfectly. They know the money's going to be low now on the north side, but the AWP is out for MSL. Not the same story, but Zipex will take him down.
Peaked a bit too late. Zipex was able to get himself set up. Molly into the shot. Kirby's taking some chunk. This is looking a little bit more promising for Astralis now. Looking to get just their second round in this best of 3, and Dupree is able to contend with Nico. Does take a chunk of damage, but he's able to scamper away and join the rest of his team. Those are excellent entries.
They absolutely are. Still a lot of work to do here. See the reaction from Kiabi. He's got 2 players right in front of him now. They're expecting this push. They're going to take care of him, no problem at all. Much better from Astralis now. This will actually completely ruin the finances of North. They might want to consider saving these 2 rifles at this point. Valda and AZ, both playing inside for that exact reason. If for some reason Astralis do come inside, they'll challenge him. Absolutely. They'll give it a go.
A kill into a potential traded weapon, but they're not going to go too aggressive on that just yet. Just test the waters and see what's out there in the murky depths. But Astralis going to take that information, convert it into the bomb plant. This should be them pulling into train for their first round.
Well, Valda's recovered the AWP, AZ the M4. They'll force around these weapons, considering they would be double eco anyway. So they'll try and save them the best they can. Do Astralis want to risk going for the hunt here? Might be worth a little flirt towards inside to see what's going on. We do know at least one player's there in the form of AZ. He took down Zipex. Much better from Astralis there, as you pointed out, Dupree. Fantastic entry player, manages to get 2 very strong kills there, and then they didn't overcommit, they didn't panic. They waited for those fabled reactions on the CT side. As soon as you know you've got an advantage, or indeed a disadvantage on the CT side, you need to try and reclaim map control, get a frag back, and that's what Dupree is waiting for. Punish the push. Now at 4 versus 2, Astralis convert the round, but Valda does recover that AWP. So there we have it. AZ and Valda will do what they can. They're going to give the AWP to MSL. They definitely will force into this round, Vince, and try and steal the momentum back. This was Dupree waiting for aggression. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Is seeing if that reaction would come from. That's Kiabi being dropped. They haven't left themselves with nothing here. North are going to try their very best to win the 3 pistols, 1 AWP, and the M4A4.
Gives them enough to be a real threat in this round. MSL going to play aggressive into team main. Joined by a couple of his brothers in the form of Nico and Kirby.
No one inside right now on the CT side. Valda's only just got there from connector. So they're taking a real gamble here. Smokes outside as well. This could work out for North. But the bomb's inside. Okay, so it is a bit of a ruse. Good smoke, but that's just going to shove them towards the upper ramp.
Valda's going to use the smoke down on ramp as some kind of safety net, but He knows now this player's up on catwalk. His days are numbered. He's been funneled out. MSL, though, at least is going to land one upshot. I believe he just saw a pixel of a player dropping down from catwalk, but it doesn't matter. Astralis getting themselves in the rhythm, shifting through the gears. And North are eyeing up the very real possibility of an eco in the next round. In fact, it definitely will be. Even if Kirby can save this, they can't really justify the buy. That's a big if, by the way, because Magisk's on the prowl.
We'll see whether Kiabi can save the weapon here. Right towards T-Spawn. Lovely shot by him. Takes him down, but that's going to be 2 in a row for Astralis. They've doubled the amount of rounds they've got on Dust 2. So far, so good. On the T side, it is very difficult to pick these rounds up. You're aiming for about 6 or 7 would be very good score margin to get. Obviously, more than that is always going to be beneficial. But realistically, in this matchup, that's what they're looking for. North will save the one M4A4 here, and this should be a timeout and an eco. I don't think they can justify much more than maybe a P250 here or there. Zipex getting it down towards inside, negating the danger of the AWP. Actually took down MSL towards the connector there. Great shot by him. The coach of North, Ave, used to be teammates with Zonic. Kind of nice little comparison there. Now rivals, both coaches. Timeout here just to calm themselves down. North will not be purchasing anything around this M4, not even any grenades or anything. Kiabi saves an incendiary. He's got a CZ as well. He could drop the CZ. Might miss out if he doesn't realize he's got that. Could give it to a team, maybe more beneficial for one of them. But this should be a bit of a gimme for Astralis. A chance to start building some momentum, some bankroll as we get into round number 6 here.
And one of the best teams, of course, of systematically shutting down anti-EQ rounds and not slipping away, not giving too much away for free. We'll have to see if that continues to be the case here, because North, if nothing else, they've been very unpredictable over the duration of this BO3. Kirby thinks about pushing with his lone M4. Not going to go for it as a Molotov lands in his eyes, and out come Glaive and Magisk. It's going to be Glaive to claim the first in round 6. And there should be quite a few more kills to follow it up. Kirby, though, does get that frag cleanly. He's still on 100 HP. He can't go out and salvage the AK-47, but it's going to give the rest of Astralis a bit of pause for thought. Device takes that round to the head, but is at least going to trade out MSL in the process. Not a bad hold thus far for North, but Astralis have a huge advantage still. Oh, Dupree! The one tap onto Valda. Didn't know what hit him. But AZ's going to come back, and once again the pistol is going to be a trusty sidearm for North to hang off. Kirby now 1-on-3, made a move last seen in connector. Going into Ivy, see if he can maybe catch Astralis unawares and off guard. If he can drop the bomb carrier and survive, things can get really interesting. He's 7-2 thus far, misses out on the spray, and that probably is going to be nice to get punched in. And Zipex will be the man to deliver just that. 3-3.
Got a little bit troublesome at one point there, but Astralis do tie things up. You're absolutely right. Lost 2 players in the process, but they removed the M4 from Kiabi. I don't think we'll see an AWP on the CT side here. That is fine. I think they're actually better with the 5 rifle approach. That's when they can start doing what I was calling the alley-oop plays. They can start flashing each other in, start bullying anyone who's waiting towards the inside, Brown Hall's area, or the main entrance. That's where they seem to get their best picks. Device completely flashed to start. Brave to stand there in the open, but it will hold strong. Zipex has Pop Dog as well. So far, so good for Astralis. Great map control to have very early on in the round.
Device able to snake his way out of T main already, but not going to be able to flick to Nico. There's a boost up from Astralis, but Dupree's taken a beating down to just below 50% of his health. So the early trades, solid on the side of North. Looking to bounce back after a rough previous 3 rounds.
Towards inside they go. This will be an execution of sorts. You can see Majors holding Ivy for now, but starts to back away. He'll be joining his teammates. They will set up a smoke execution here towards inside. They've still got 3 of those, 2 Molotovs as well, but MSL and Valda both in towards inside. One watching up, that's MSL. Valda patrolling towards that lower ramp from the bomb train. Oh, that grenade, that could do a boatload of damage there. Doesn't do as much as I thought, but Dupree takes it on the chin. 40 seconds remaining. They are not going to fall back from what I can tell here. They do not have anyone towards Pop Dog. This is a full commitment. Valda so good in spots, and MSL does so much damage towards Glaive, but can't find the fragments here.
Valda, though, is going to be good on the coils, and now there's so many angles that Mages have to watch out for. MSL will get the revenge kill much, much better by North. As you say, they don't need the AWP, they're just as good with the rifles.
They play such a passive game when they have the rifles there, and you can see they've just got such solid crossfires. They're playing off each other. When one gets the aggro, the other one hides, and they make sure that it's kind of dipping and diving around in that sort of mentality, and the Ts can't find the frag. As soon as one of these ETs gets the kill, they hide, the other one picks out, and it's just such a nightmare to lock down. But this looks faster. Flashbangs all over the place. MSL so brave in his AWP. He'll hit Device, not find the kill just yet. My goodness, this one really is warming up for Glaive as well as he takes a Molotov right in his feet. And now it's still MSL fighting tooth and nail here at the AWP, close range at the main entrance.
MSL still able to stand tall for his team. Gonna be going back in, can see the AK just peering around the corner. Oh, the timing nearly cost him dearly. But AZ, his bodyguard, just about gets him out of that contentious play.
Now they know MSL is outside. That's why they've made this fast play towards inner. Valda will be there by himself. This should guarantee a plant, but he has got an incendiary, and he'll have to use it right now. The bomb's going to be planted. He spotted one, though. Can't connect the shot. This could get messy for North.
Plenty of damage has been inflicted. AZ will finish off what Valda started, and Valda nearly just a millimeter away from connecting the dome shot onto Mages, who's now going to be peeking longer. Zipex able to trade his back and forth, the brawl for all between the two Danish teams. Looking for a North god of clutching, now or Astralis, who's perched up. He's got the Molotov, and there's no smoke available. North should not be winning this round now, but Amoli's going to counteract, forcing Device out into the open, but the time is too far gone, and Device does connect the shot. No save dog today for MSL.
That's more like it from Device. Confidence as he pushes through the flames, guaranteeing the round, saves the orb for himself and removes it from North. That's a harsh reset as well. It was looking so good. Device with a great shot there at the start from the pallets and started to pick them off one by one. Remember, he got legged at the start of this round as well. It didn't stop him. How does he hit that shot at the end? Much more like it from him. 4-4, and maybe a few more in store. They are going to force by here, North. They've got 3 rifles, one of which is a FAMAS. Valda on the MP9, Nico, I was about to say just on the Deagle, but his Deagle is actually pretty phenomenal. He can do some unspeakable, disgusting things with that particular weapon, so don't discount him just yet. Round number 9, as another timeout is called. Astralis in much better shape at this point. We're seeing some big plays from Device. He currently sits on 7 and 5. Zipex at the top of 8, also had some great impacts as well. And top of the north side is going to be Kiabi, 7 and 4, and MSL, 6 and 5. And we get into the next round now, and a Galil for Dupree. So neither of these teams financially looking too strong, and that's why North have convinced himself he might as well buy this one, even though it's not amazing. If we can make this round work, we are going to steal a few rounds away.
But to play devil's advocate, Henry, if they don't, Astralis have a huge advantage, and Zipex is going to shine things off with a first kill, able to get the trade for second. Bit of damage to Nico, excellent work by Zipex, picking up the entry roll for this round. Device has been shattered down to 32. AZ with 1 gets traded out instantly, maintaining the player advantage on the side of Astralis, and Magisk can sense there is prey round the corner, and a 1 tap to the back of the head. Kiabi has been executed. North, they need Nico to pull a serious rabbit out that hat.
Yeah, he's got no kit here, no smoke, just a couple of flashbangs, and I don't think he'll be doing much of this particular situation. We will have CT spawn hole from himself. Device, well, the majority of his utility. No kills for him this round, but Zipex, Glaive, and Mages deliver. And we'll have Nico just holding up now, as that's the Astralis once again building up cash. That's a big round for them. We did say whoever won this one would send their opposition to an eco. 5-4 as Astralis take the lead for the first time, I should say, in this series. Remember, they got 16-1 on Dust 2. This is a lot more convincing, though. Getting this many rounds on the T side of Train, that's great news. Remember, throughout this tournament, North have been doing their best work on the CT side. Their T side not as tantalizing, and so Astralis will be feeling very comfortable right now. They know they're up against an eco at this point. They can just take this one slow and start to really build into this grand final.
Absolutely. building that storyline up, and completely agree with you, Henry. I mean, North now, after a very confident blitzing on Dust 2, are going to start to feel the pressure. Astralis breathing down their necks. On the choice of North, of course, they do have a very solid CT side, but that's already somewhat crumbling around them. Astralis pincering in, Dupree positioned in Pop Dog. With the MAC-10, they've called this perfectly in terms of the economic situation. There's the spray, not quite connecting the kill onto Kirby, but at least going to keep two of them locked in around the T-main trains. Now Glaive can maybe make amends. It seems that they may have pushed into T-main as some kind of desperation play, but that's not the case.
Really much to report right now. Like I said, Astralis, unsurprisingly, is taking this very methodically. Slow-paced, get some intel first. And you did mention Astralis have always been renowned for being very good at these sort of situations. And this is why. They're not rushing. They're not trying to work a pick. They're just slowly but surely getting information. They're pushing forward. And this smoke will just send out a bit of a rotation, a message towards inside. Keep the two players that are already there in position. And now they go out together. Look at the trade. Everyone goes down with an instant reply, just like that. As Dupree used the MAC-10 to take down the only rifle.
Exactly. It looked a bit rough, but you have to keep into consideration there's now no more arsenal weaponry other than the lonely Desert Eagle that North have to use. Should be easy kills and easy cleanup, and Device now going to build some confidence. Magisk has put just Valda remaining for North. We have to just discuss over a couple of things, because in terms of saving at USP, no big reason to do just that. He's going to try and take some weapons away, maybe see if that bomb can detonate the likes of Device. This is a chance where he could maybe get a kill onto Device with very low HP, though.
We'll have a look. He's going to be waiting there, and Device knows he has to get a little bit further out. They're trying to pre-fire and back him up, so he won't be getting Device here. That's well played. Let's get on the bomb. Not quite. 11 HP remaining on Device. So there we go, 6-4. And the money's still not amazing here for North. They have to go with the 5 rifles. They're taking another pause here. There's been plenty of pauses back and forth. Of course, it is the grand final, a Danish derby. Who would have thought this would be it? From the stacked tournament we had, the storylines of the Intel Grand Slam, FaZe looking to close that out. And we have North here, a team just inside the top 10. No one really thinking they would get to the playoffs, let alone the grand final here when we first arrived. But they've proved their hard work and dedication, and instead of using that player break as a holiday, they've been just grinding the boot camp. You can see they're one of the best looking teams of this tournament so far. Astralis definitely got their work cut out for them, but this is looking much better than Dust 2. The fact they have the lead so deep into the half on the T side is very promising indeed. We could be going to a third here.
Often these kind of situations, you may think that North got an easy road, but they've already beat Astralis, they beat Na'Vi and Mouse Sports.
Yep.
This is no joke.
Yep, this is legit. This is the real deal.
As real as it gets. Now Astralis will be looking to apply some pressure over on either side, but Magisk has taken a bit of damage there, down to 68, and not much in return.
Standard setup for North. 2 players towards the side of the rifles. Defensive this time, not playing in front of potential smokes, actually holding right back, all isolated around Ivy and the bomb train. AZ and Nico trying to work off each other. It's Kiabi holding towards that smoke at the choke point. Glaive and Magisk once again trying to crack things open with their default device. Normally so good at finding these picks, but not giving anything just yet.
Certainly slowing down the pace of the action. We've had frenetic. Now we're having some solid entry frags. Playing Astralis. Glaive is tagged down, but Dupree is going to double the advantage. As their Danish brethren are falling around North now. Valda and MSL just want to save. Astralis will take a 7-4 lead.
Absolutely well. 3 maps looking more and more likely at this point. North haven't really been able to approach much. Remember, they got the pistol and the 3-0 lead. They've won a single gun round since then and were completely shut down afterwards. Very nice round from Astralis as they pick up a couple of kills there towards our side, and it's Valda and MSL, the inside players, that are completely left with nothing to do, as they've got no kits, no names. And this setup now is looking a little bit predictable for Astralis. They know what the system is. They can isolate these players. They pincer enough from Pop Dog, main entrance, and indeed Ivy. especially the low utility. North will get a struggle here. Not seeing any of those adapted pushes and aggression. I guess we'll see more from that from North once they get financially sound, once they actually get to a position where they can take a few risks. We haven't really seen them take that many on the CT side just yet. For now, Vince will have to take another eco as we enter round number 12. Here's some fantastic shots from Device, looking much sharper now on Train. Couldn't get going on Dust 2, but you can't argue with the shot he's hitting now.
North just being pummeled and ripped to pieces these last 4 rounds. And it doesn't look like that's going to stop anytime soon. Dupree already straight out onto E-Box, not slowing down for anybody. Device is going to help him out once again, getting a lot of success from Team Main. MSL does at least answer back, but this is really all that should be given across the North now. Astralis should be able to shut that things down. Kirby, though, in the meanwhile, in amongst the chaos, has flanked all the way round towards T-Spawn. Now, this could be a bit of an issue if the rest of his team can hold the line, but there's Device. He knows exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it's a predictable sort of play, especially when you have this huge man advantage. Guarantee someone might go for a flank at one point. You can sacrifice a player to watch him, make sure everyone's protected. It's an expensive round. 3 players do go down, but now this is where North need to wake up. They've got 4 rounds to go here. We'll see whether they can actually do anything with it. The AWP comes in, and it's the 4 M4A4s. Looking at the frag charts, no one above 8 frags still on the CT side. Haven't really found much at all in the last few, but Device 14 and 5, looking much, much better as he goes towards the main entrance once again. Looking for anyone to get up on top of the red train. Flashbang, they will be up there and easy. This time up close and personal. They are going to trade blows though, as MSL gets bested by Device this time.
AZ now really needs to come to the forefront. Does have Kirby helping him out. Think he may have just seen a shadow protruding around the corner, but Glaive is still going to connect, and AZ has also fallen down alongside Valda into Pop Dog, but it's to his death. And Astralis have now won 9 out of the last 10 rounds.
They really have. Well, it has to be the eco once again. Maximum loss bonus will only get you so far on the CT side. It's much more sustainable when you're playing Terrorist, because at that point you get the bomb plant bonus. You don't get any of that on the North side, and you're not actually saving any weapons either. Everyone's going down consistently here. CZ's across the board, and Device going for the wall bang here. No one to receive it though. They're going for an inside rush here. The first bit of aggression we've seen from the CTs, and maybe looking a little bit more rattled than we expected. They were doing lots of these sort of plays successfully when they were playing yesterday, but none of the adaptiveness and tenacity they had in previous showings. This is looking a lot different in terms of their CT approach.
And considering that this is really the CT side where you expect North to get the bulk of their success, they've got that T side looming on the horizon. That's going to be an itch in the back of their head they can't get rid of. Dupree, close range, going to get the upper hand onto Nico. And as anticipated, this round is just slipping away, fading into obscurity. Maybe Valda can get something done, but he's been baited out and Glaive dispatches of him. AZ's P250 work has been sensational this tournament, but if he pulls this 1v5 off Henry, he will go into the history books of Counter-Strike.
I think he might be right there. However unlikely it is, they'll have to do what they can. Good start, gets the bomb down at least. Can't find anything more, and will be made just to put the round to bed. We go into round number 15, ladies and gentlemen, the last chance for North here to pick anything up on the CT side. Now, I will say this much, 10-5, if they do get it, still was a pretty disastrous half on the CT forces a train, but there's no reason why they can't bounce back. Grand finals, anything can and will happen. So if they can pick up this last one, I said there's still a chance. 11-4 though, I'd say it's pretty likely we're going to a third. And the AWP's out for MSL. That's certainly slowed down since Dust 2. This Device will work the lower ramp this time. No one there to receive. They've stacked outside slightly more, and Astralis look like the ones that are fully in charge at this point, making all the correct calls, going to positions where there's no manpower whatsoever. 4 players getting ready to enter the inside bomb zone. Only Valda is there. Finally, MSL will rotate over, and he'll be positioning himself towards that upper ramp.
He certainly will, but he's been spotted, flashed, tagged, maybe flagged shortly, but Valda gonna be taking away all the attention out of the lives of Astralis. It's only Magus that survives, and he can't manhandle anybody.
Well, Astralis are getting back into it. Stunner, down to you on the show floor.
I am on the show floor, and I'm with the smartest man in all of the Globe, and the king of corn himself. Now, this guy's been playing trivia the entire time. He's got 54 of 66 questions right. And most importantly, you have netted yourself a trip to the next CORSAIR DreamHack Masters, man. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah, it feels great. I just want to thank my friends over here.
For Googling the answers?
Yeah, exactly. So that's fine.
Outstanding. Congratulations again. And there were a couple signs around here. I think this one was the one that caught my attention the most. Henry and Vince, what do you guys think about this one?
I mean, I've done enough kissing on cameras before, Vince. I'm going to save you the experience. I can assure you it's not a pleasant one. But thank you very much for the sign all the same. We do appreciate it. It is going to be the second half beginning very shortly. And we did say 10-5. We still believe this could be possible to some extent. It's still very unlikely that Astralis don't win this map. But Valda might light the fire beneath them right before halftime, bring something back in their favor, at least gives them a buffer that they can win the pistol. It's not over yet.
Downside is Device, who was asleep, is now 15-7. He has awoken.
Yes.
The Juggernaut himself is now starting to get some momentum behind him.
Yeah, that's a very exciting prospect for Astralis fans, let me tell you. When Device comes online in Grand Finals, it's something to behold. Either way, towards inside as usual. MSL with the connector Molotov. We normally say post-plant, but it seems more teams are focused towards actually delaying rotations at the start where the bomb goes down, instead of saving it for the post-plant 1v1 perhaps with the Molotov available. They will go towards inside, but that HE grenade of Zipex, he is ready to deploy that, but they're going towards up. It won't do any damage, and this could be a nice opener as AZ with the P250. Great shot by him, and Zipex doing everything he can with that CZ. Good for one, but low HP, and they're coming for him now.
Yeah, he's living on borrowed time. He's just trying to stall for the rest of his teammates to get there, knowing the terrorists can't push him too aggressively. Bomb still has been planted, but will be momentarily. And although Zipex didn't necessarily have a huge amount of influence in terms of kills, he did a lot of damage. MSL and AZ are both struggling alongside Mages. Glaive now coming in, taking damage quickly, switching his attention to the bomb site, and the kills now flowing in for Astralis, leaving Nico in a 1-on-3. And Astralis have got it done, and I think the unsung hero there really is Zipex. He did a lot of work.
He stayed alive for so long, and sure, he only gets one kill, but the fact he just stays there, getting the information, denying the plant for so long, and making sure the rotations can come through, you're absolutely right. That's what an anchor is supposed to do. He doesn't need to find all the frags. He needs to delay and make things uncomfortable, make sure they can't push down. That's the key thing with an inside push. You notice usually they'll be right down the connector, they'll be right down at the choke points, but they couldn't do it because Zipex is just locking them in, staying alive for so long. So that was a great asset for Astralis. Another pistol goes in their favor this time, and it'll be 11-5. 4 spy in the second round from North. This is not conventional. Most teams will get the AKs out in the third, but they know they need rounds and they need them right here, right now. CZ's 1 UMP. Lose this one, 12-5 down for Nico. That will pretty much be it.
Against Astralis, one of the best teams at closing games out in these kind of situations. It certainly is getting a little bit too far gone. Nico going to take a bunch of damage before the push starts to come into play. Excellent teamwork. Molotov forces to pre out. Kirby will finish off the rest. These are the kind of alley-oops you were talking about before, Henry. They need to land that slam dunk afterwards, and so far Astralis have been able to guard as best as possible. That could open up some inroads though. North, 55 seconds left to get something done. Nades being exchanged, but it's not going to do any damage to North, who is still posturing, still pondering just outside of the B site in the box halls area. Kirby making a move down into the smoke of ramp. Nico's watching the back, just to be sure that no one's flanking. And here we go. They're pulling the trigger for the execute. Incendiaries are being exchanged, though, stopping them from the ramp push for the time being. Now under half a minute, Kirby's going to be going in first. He started the round off for North, but a flashbang is going to turn them for a few more moments. Zipex is already going through some of that magazine. He's going to need to anchor once again. They're okay with the bomb plant as long as they get the kills afterwards, but it's going to be Kirby that strikes for a second time, and only Magisk has counteracted with one of his own. Now Device is coming in. There's Magisk again, and it's looking a lot more of a workable situation for Astralis.
Absolutely so, Vince, but the bomb's still ticking. And there is a flashbang being deployed right now by AZ, trying to help his teammate out here. MSL doing a good job, at least leaves him a winnable situation, but one that won't be realized as AZ goes down. It's a great attempt there. They got the opening kill, the bomb planted, but the retake is just too strong from Astralis. And they'll have 2 players survive with M4A4s, and at this point, North, with $3,000 per player, need to work out what is going to be the approach that gets them the maximum chance of winning this game. I think they have to take an eco at this point and wait to get the AKs out. That means going down 13-5. Not ideal.
Oh, feels bad, man. AZ just denied us the deco. It's been a while since, not to use that term. The rest of them know all Desert Eagles. You highlighted this before. It gives you the impact. You don't need the Kevlar with the Deagle. You're looking for the one-taps anyway, the one Deags.
Exactly. That's why I feel like sometimes on the CT side especially, people invest way too much in the armor and the Deagle. If you're going to win the round, it's normally because you've one-tapped 2 people. So that's the point we're trying to make. Opening kill comes in. That's going to be Glaive and Zipex adding to the frag chart, and it's a guaranteed round at this point. Vauda will be at the main entrance, firing off that noisy Deagle. I know exactly where he is. He's going to be shut down momentarily. There it is. Magus with a clean sweep. No damage inflicted to the Astralis side. Plenty of money now. Feels like they're in cruise control and looking to take us to Overpass, where they're considered one of the best on that particular map.
They are certainly gods of Overpass, and especially if they finish this off 16-5, everything is going in their favor. They can completely forget about Dust 2. We don't care about that anymore. It's all down to a map that we are absolutely ridiculous on. But can they get there to 16-5? There's still some twists and turns potentially on the road yet. And North have shown that when they get into the mood, when they get into the rhythm, they really can screw with Astralis and play mind games with them.
Absolutely. Max 7 available for Dupree this time. Must have an idea up his sleeve. I assume he's at the pop dog. Indeed he is. Could be a very strong weapon, but also a bit of a cruel mistress at times. You missed that first shot, you are going down. But Dupree doesn't break. It misses. He hits the shots. And we'll see now. Still a 5-on-5, no real damage inflicted just yet. This is a default from North. I'd assume it converts into a smoke execution. Dupree gets himself tucked in towards main entrance. That's a nice position to have. Gets a ton of info there. Gets sound cues as well and work out where they're heading towards. That's why the boys are walking here. MSL's flashbang towards Pop Dog, and no one there to receive.
They've got the aggressive angle in team main. They don't need to go aggressively in Pop Dog either. And if things get a bit too hot to handle and North get out onto E-Box, then definitely watch for Dupree to make a move around the back of them. But it's not going to be an A-centric hit with just over 30 seconds on the timer. North are going for broke onto the B site, where Zipex once again, who's been in form, is waiting, but he's only going to get one, and he is alone. To the very least, it's a bomb plant, and with a lack of any presence at the back of the site, now Kirby can look to push it himself and get in those off angles.
They might as well save at this point. It's 13-5. You do not need to go for this. Let's keep the money strong. No reason to risk anything. If you went for this retake, it's almost certainly not going to work out for you, considering that fresh smoke just went down the connector. This is a good call from Astralis. Might be more of a boring approach, you could argue, but they took a bit of a gamble with 4 players outside. Zipex technically did his job. He went 1 for 1, but he couldn't delay them much further. And at that point, North completely run away with the round. So Astralis made a good call to save the AWP, to save the rifles here, and we'll close this out. And maybe remove any sort of money and chances they've got. That's what we are looking for. That's not bad. That's $1,800 in the bag as well. 900 per kill. And there we have it. It was looking like such a clean, perfect round from North, and then that happens.
And you built it up. You said Dupree does not miss.
Yeah, well,
and
there we go.
You're right.
Easy. And now he gets an AK instead of the Mag 7 and an extra $1,800. So that couldn't have really gone any better for him. Just waiting for his chance to strike. 2 shots, 2 kills. And he'll find himself now with the AK-47. No AWP available on the T side. MSL's actually on the Galil. Good chance for the reset here, considering that round was so expensive towards the end. Astralis still on the verge of taking the map.
Oh, that's an uncharacteristic miss. Device nearly gets punished, but Zipex is going to die as a result. But it's a triple stack. They're going to be peeking from the box hall side, courtesy of Dupree. And although Zipex did get traded out, this now still maintains the player advantage for Astralis, with North trying to brute force their way out onto B. They have plenty of mollies, plenty of utility at their disposal and times. They don't have to completely bite down on this. They can get some shenanigans over onto the other side of the map, but have a look at Magisk. He's making a move around the back of them. This is vital info, and he could even just sideswipe them while they're in the bathrooms, coming down towards T-spawn. This position could be everything. This could be the end of the map. Magisk has it in his hands. If he just plays this angle, it's done. They line up, and he butchers both of them. Bomb dropped. This map's all but over now.
It should be at this point, Vincent, be 14-6, and like we said, the reset coming through. That was absolutely beautiful there from Magisk. I thought he was going to push a little further to the steps, and I thought if he gets on the dumpster here, that's the perfect position. And he can take almost 3 if he can connect the final shot. He does get 2.5. That will be round confirmed still. And NiKo looking to survive here. Can't really justify going for this with 15 seconds remaining and half HP. We'll just have to sit back and wait. Hold on to his utility and take the AK into the next round. He will get no cash. His teammates will get $1,400 per player. He will be the only rifle. I take it back, Kiabi has $2,000 right now, so there'll at least be a pencil AK there. He's gonna have 3,400. But so far, Astralis running away with map number 2. It was 16-1 on Dust 2. It could potentially be 16-6 here on Train, but lovely positioning, great spray control, good awareness, bomb down, round guaranteed. As we get into round number 21 here, the AKs come out, they'll buy what they can. It's actually 3 AKs, 2 Deagles, not as bad as I thought it would be. AZ had to drop one of those, that's why he gets Deagle, no armor. They'll give it everything they have, looking for map point and to potentially seal the deal here on Train, our Astralis.
MSL out dry, and that's going to be to his detriment. Glaive going to gobble up that kill all day. Already on the back foot, North will be facing the very real possibility of overpass. With every passing second, it gets closer and closer. No reason for Astralis to really mix anything up. I mean, they have this map on lock. Valda's already out past teammate.
When you have the man advantage as well, Vince, you know their money's wrecked. You don't have to be pushing anymore. You just hold up, bolster your defenses, get the crossfires down. And nice shot from NiKo. Is it going to be enough to even get them close to a bomb site? Time will tell. As Valda, he starts to make it look a bit more convincing now. All of a sudden, it's a 3 versus 2. Kiabi with the Deagle. All of these kills coming out of nowhere, but Device is still alive. He has spotted one potentially here getting up the ladder. There it is, takes off the head of Kiabi. And now it starts to look more promising for Astralis to find round number 15.
Bomb's also dropped out in the open, 35 seconds. They're going to have to retrieve that. NiKo's now got it. But in terms of Zipex, he's going to be able to deny the bomb plant. It took a bit too long for North to get the bomb planted down. And Astralis will punish them 9 map points.
Well, no bomb planted, and that was a force buy before with almost nothing in the cash reserves. It will be even less now, $1,900 per player. It will be a mixture of CZs and Desert Eagles, I would say at this point. We're going to have smokes, flashbangs, and indeed just those pistols, a Molotov for Valda, and this should be the final round. Even if it's not, North would just be delaying the inevitable on the B side against Astralis at this point. Oh my goodness, the grenade lands a ton of damage, and Glaive starts to pick them off as it goes into a 5 versus 3. That should be it.
It certainly should, Henry. I think the curtain is coming down here on Train as Astralis pull away. Next stop, overpass. AZ 1 on 5, tagged up, gives his position away. And there we have it, ladies and gents.
Give it up for Astralis. Great performance there on Train. And indeed we go to overpass, and some of the greatest grand finals are defined by their third map. It's the great equalizer towards the end, and we're hoping we can get a very competitive, close game. Both of these teams play overpass, and hopefully we're going to see a different side to both of them. 16-1 in the first, 16-6 in the second. And Vince, surely we can see it go the distance in the third. What do you reckon?
I really hope so. From the neutrals, I cannot wait. I'm hoping we get really close here, but I've got to say, when you've got Device now waking up, everybody on Astralis seemingly kicking up a notch, yes. I do fear the worst for North.
It is strange as well if you think about it. Dust 2 was Astralis' pick. They get 16-1. And we've been talking about North and their amazing CT approach on Train like for the last 24 hours. I haven't stopped thinking about it. And today they just looked very flat. They couldn't have the same aggressiveness and dynamic play that we saw on those alley-oops. None of it happened. But that's enough from us for now at least. We'll throw it to the analyst. And be back with the third map very soon.
Thank you very much, gents. Yes, indeed. All the way to the third, and so far, it's been a bit of a weird one. Both teams losing the map they chose convincingly. Dust 2, of course, went the way of North. It was Astralis' pick, and this was supposed to be North train, but it was all Astralis in my eyes.
Yeah, look, North came out flat here on a map that, as Henry was alluding to, we're expecting big things. But maybe there's a curse going on in this tournament, Alex. The teams that seem to win the first map in these series tend to lose. If you think about this, FaZe won the first map against MOUZ, they lost the series. MOUZ won the first map against North, they lost the series. That's just in the playoff bracket alone. I think NRG had a similar thing happen against NIP in the group stage. So maybe winning that first map isn't as good as it should be. But this is good that we're getting the Astralis we want and the device we need to see, because he is a top 5 player in the world and he's putting on a top 5 player performance right now. Yeah,
this was so gorgeous, just watching this man work. He caught them in places you probably don't feel like you should be dying. Look at that. I mean, in some rounds combined, it just felt like almost every frag didn't make sense on the receiving end, but he made it work. And I mean, you guys were having the conversation before we came back. If he continues this, Jacob, he's up for the MVP.
He's up for the MVP without a doubt. I think he's by far, as you said, a top 5 player in the world, and he has been, I wouldn't say shaky this tournament, but it hasn't been consistent as he normally is, right? You never see him have a bad game almost during a tournament, but he has it up and down in this one. So it's good to see him come on and put a lot of numbers on the scoreboard. Joined by Supnix, almost 100 ADR as well. That's also very important for them going into Overpass, and that's where I think we should head the conversation now. We have Overpass as the deciding map. I think it's super, super interesting to me that Mirage was the map that Astralis picked the first time these two teams met. You know, instead of Astralis picking Overpass, which they had the chance of, they went to go with Mirage. So that tells me one or two things. Either Astralis is not too comfortable playing Overpass, which I do think they are, so let's put that out of the way. I think Astralis have been practicing against North on Overpass, and I think Nox actually have a lot to come with on Overpass. So I think we're going to get a much more close game than you, Chet, may initially think.
I think this should be a blowout. I think Astralis are just going to pick up where they left off on that map train there and just run away with this one. We were talking about in the pre-game about MSL and the opening kills. He was the highest for his squad so far, and in that game there he had 0. So that's not fantastic. In that train game, MSL found 0 opening kills.
Okay, opening kills.
As well. Dust 2 was that map where they could be so aggressive. They could run out long, run out B holes, run out towards middle all the time.
Can't do that on Overpass though. You can't do it on Overpass, Jacob.
Then again, Overpass is one of those maps where, especially on the CT side, we've seen how aggressive North can be, and we also see how aggressive the Astralis is. So it's kind of like the other way around, where the CT side is where you can be super, super aggressive on Overpass, because there's so many different angles, so many different positions you can take aggressively.
Okay, so you're expecting a blowout, you're expecting a nice close game.
Astralis is going to win, but it's going to be a close game.
Okay, interesting. Now, we haven't got that long. In fact, it sounds like we're supposed to be heading to a break, but if anyone wants to add any kind of things to watch out for Overpass.
A player to watch.
A player to watch, perhaps.
I just think that Device is on fire right now, and he's manhandled people like Fallen before on a map like this. He shouldn't have any issues doing the same thing to a team like North. Just one last caveat. I know that the Danish guys seem to think that Kjærby is one of the best toilet players in the whole world on this map.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? He's fallen off? You think he's not there? Okay, well, there you go. You've heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
I guess we'll leave it there.
Mr. Denmark himself.
Thank you, gentlemen. Right, yes, this Danish clash continues after our break, where we venture into our third map. We'll be crowning ourselves a CORSAIR DreamHack Masters champion. Do stay tuned.